Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EURUSD. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit the ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Greetings everybody, guys. Let's take a look again on the euro currency. So today we need to discuss some moments that exist right now on the market, because it seems that some traders starts to worry about the current performance on the euro, because as you can see, XOP has been reached, market stands at the support, but market still can't get started the upward action. And we should talk about whether this warning sign and we should start to worry about it, or maybe means that probably maybe we need to close the positions because the market could break all the stuff down, or it's still everything is okay, so we just need to wait a bit more and chances on upward bounce exist. So the simple rule that you always could apply is if you can't make some conclusion based only on the euro currency, you could take a look on the dollar index. And you could see what's going on there, because there could be some minor divergence which could just keep euro flat and doesn't let it to start upward action. And as you will see a bit later, this is indeed one of the reasons, I mean the technical reasons, why euro can't start the upward action yet. From another point of view, we still have to appoint some important levels precisely on the euro currency that also could let us to control the situation. So on the daily chart you could see that everything has been achieved that we have discussed. So market stands at the agreement support. This is the moment where we need to make the decision on the position taken. Maybe somebody of you, including myself, already have taken the position here on euro and are watching right now what will happen next. Well, speaking in general, when the market stubbornly do not want to show the reasonable pullback up from the support, this always, of course, not really very pleasant to see. And as you count on some pullback and you see that market stubbornly stands flat without any response to the level, that always increases the risk, because usually when the market stubbornly stands and creep upon the level, and when this level is relatively strong support, it could mean that the seller pressure is strong enough to keep market flat above the level, and sooner but later the breakout could happen. But at the same time, very often happens that after some period of the planning action, market could show the pullback. And here is important to point some vital signals that could tell you whether it makes sense to wait more or not. If, of course, all this stuff happened before the stop loss will work, so it will trigger. So this is obvious. So now, what we have on the follow time frame chart? Take a look. On the follow time frame chart, we actually have potentially bullish price action. This is falling wedge pattern, which in most cases accompanied with the divergence at major support. The butterfly has been hit, as you can see. In most cases, the wedges usually leads to the upward reversal, fallen wedges. At the same time, although this happens rare, but sometimes wedges could be broken in a direction that it point, so it could work as a continuation pattern. In this case, usually the breakout significantly stronger. So here we could get fast acceleration through the level. Why this happens? Because a lot of traders see the wedge, they see the support, and they start, as we do, buying here, placing the stops. As soon as stops will be triggered, market shows the acceleration. In this case, the wedge pattern, so potentially bullish pattern, if it breaks in a different direction, in opposite direction, shows much faster, significantly faster acceleration. But whether it's already the moment where we need to worry and maybe to close trades and just see what will happen next, that, of course, the solution that you could do now. because you can see market mostly calling the same area. If you feel uncomfortable and you do not want to wait, and for you better to see the resolving of the situation and then re-enter later, that's of course the solution, because you need to act in a way that is most comfortable to your mentality. So it's not really good if you will force your mentality, and that will lead to negative result, because you will start to work irrationally, because your pressure on the mentality will in some moment will play the trick with you, and you will just leave the trade on some level where you need to, vice versa, to take the position, or expectation will be too long for you. It will be uncomfortable. So that's really a bad thing. So if you feel uncomfortable psychologically in this current situation, well, it's better to close. This is actually just a trade, guys. So you will get another trade, and maybe even today. For the others who feel comfortable and could let yourself to watch what will happen, we could watch for 2 moments. First of all, if you'll take a look at the hourly chart, here potentially we have the largest 3 drive buy pattern is forming. So at least the extensions that market shows here lets us to suggest existence of the 3 drive right at the final point of the wedge on the 5-day frame chart. So take a look. That's first drive. Second stands at 127 of the first. Third potentially will stand at the crossing of the 1618 of the first and 127 of the second. That's typical classical shape of the pattern. So 3 drives suggest the upward action. So at least the level that we have on the table is 109.90 area. This is the first moment that I would like to show you. Another moment, guys, take a look at the dollar index. That's the same picture as we have on the euro, but as you can see, it's in the opposite direction. And if euro already stands here between the level and the XOP target, the dollar index hasn't quite reached yet the XOP. So it still has some room to pass before it will hit the XOP. And that maybe keeps euro flat. It doesn't let market to reverse. Once XOP here will be reached, they start both opposite action as euro currency, as dollar index. That's 2 moments that we could keep an eye on before the closing of the position totally. So if we'll see some fast acceleration breakout here, yes, in this case we have to acknowledge that indeed setup has not been triggered, setup has failed, and market just break this level down. So that's also one of the solutions. So this is the part of the trading, guys. But currently, as you have the pattern on the hourly chart, as you have incompleted XOP on the dollar index, this makes sense maybe to sit on the hands and see what will happen in the nearest few hours, what will happen here. So that's the first part of our update. Second part of our update, guys, take a look again on the daily chart. Here we have 8 bars down. This is 8 bar, which makes this action suitable for the Jordan Apple directional pattern. So that, for example, could be the bread and butter. If we will be correct on the pullback here, the market indeed will show the 60 pips pullback to the 30% resistance of all this downward action. So you could see it on the forward time frame chart. So if we'll get the pullback somewhere to the 1060, 1065, that will create the opportunity for a bread and butter sell trade. That's the second scenario that we'll keep an eye on, but probably it will not be formed this week, maybe only on the next week. So that's our view currently on the euro, and let's see what will happen.